Good afternoon if you're in the central time zone or east, and good morning if you're not in the US at least. Hi everybody, I've got a bunch of cool stuff to show you today for limited releases, and these are items that will be going up tomorrow, Thursday, August 28th at 5 p.m. Central Time. And I've gotten a few people commenting about the timing of the releases, and given that the world is all over the place, sometimes we release these when people are sleeping or asleep. So my apologies for that, but I can't get it right for everybody. And we might experiment with the time going further. So in fact, if you guys have any thoughts on timing for releases, that would be helpful to know, because I would like it to be as available as possible. So I've got a ton of cool stuff to show you, including some new prototype bag designs that you probably saw in the thumbnail of this video. I'm super excited about that. We've got some 1940s calfskin. This is dead stock leather that Horween's not able to make again. And show the bags already, says Clayton. And we'll get there. If you're keyed in on the social media, the Ashland Instagram, I'm not sure if we posted on YouTube, maybe TikTok. I did a little video of this here, and I thought it'd be fun to talk about it again very briefly, because this is something that I've seen once in the 20 years of being around the leather tannery. So I thought it'd be interesting to share with you. So this is a piece of aspen horsehide from Horween. This is the grain side here. And the way that they make this leather is by wet tumbling it before it is tanned. Excuse me, right after it is tanned, before they dry it, they tumble it. And what was interesting about this one, so this is the grain. The back of it here is actually where the shell is. So there's two bits of things to note. The shell is closer to the whorl on the rough outside of the leather, the suede side, as it is to the grain. But this one is neat because you can see where the shell is and where it isn't on this piece. So for people that are unaware, shell cordovan is a dense fiber layer that's found underneath the skin of equine animals. And that's what you're seeing here in those little wrinkled up sections. You can even see it's a little bit shinier. But the thing that's interesting about this, and it was always described to me this way, is it has the shell is not a perfect shape. It has these little fingers stick out and stretch along. So I thought it'd be really fun to share this with you today, because like I said, I haven't seen this more than once, because normally the cordovan is cropped out of the hides before it is tanned into the leather. So this particular piece of aspen was not trimmed out. So I thought that was super cool. And it normally doesn't have this like puckered up texture. That is a little bit more unique because of how this aspen leather was made. So normally it's just flat and smooth. Video's choppy. Oh no, it could be my internet. Maybe I'll record this in case it gets bad, and then I'll just post the recording. All right, so I wanted to show you those fun shell facts. Hopefully we're not getting too much lag here. David, sorry about that. Let's get into some of the limited releases. I've got a brand new prototype bag, and you've probably seen over the last few drops, we've been slowly increasing our bag offerings. We started with the tote bag. We did a couple versions of that, and we're trying to develop some other styles. I'm most excited about this one. And speaking of aspen, this is also aspen horsehide. This is our briefcase bag, and I'll try to go through some of the features here of it. But again, aspen horsehide, we thought it'd be fun to cut the mane into the center of it there, which you might be able to see. See that little difference in texture down the center of the bag? So this is like a color 8 aspen horsehide. It's difficult for me to show you how nice this leather is in a video live stream or even on the photos, but actually maybe it's kind of working here because it has this really brilliant luster, but it's also sort of subtle at the same time. It's a very fine grain, and the way that they finished it gives it this very, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a wet look, but not overly so in person. It kind of sparkles at you in person. So I'm super pumped about this one. So we've got the Aspen, Horsehide, and Color 8 for the body of the bag. You'll notice the bottom and the sides are black. Now this is black Align. We've been experimenting with this. We thought it might be a little bit more appropriate to use that very dense, thick Align leather for the bottom of the bag where it's going to hit the ground, as well as on the handles here and on the strap, and we'll get to that too. But let's look at the features of the bag really quick. So the front is just one big clean piece with one single snap pocket that goes all the way down, and these are all lined with canvas. So big section in the front, easy to access stuff, probably going to put there. And then we have a large zippered section in the middle, and these are all Riri zippers. It's shocking how expensive hardware can be, and Riri really charges for them. But I just feel with the Riri stuff, and then I'm digging the black finish on the zipper teeth for this one, and we have the black zipper pull, and then this long hanging accent also in the Aspen. You can get rid of that if you want. Been experimenting with different pulls. And then on the inside, this is designed, and you guys are looking at me through a laptop right now. This is the larger MacBook. I think it's 15 inches. We've designed it around that. So there's a canvas section on the inside where you can drop in your laptop. But importantly, we were hearing people say that they didn't want a laptop to hit the ground. So this is raised up off the bottom. You might be able to see it there. So when you slide your laptop in, it doesn't hit the bottom of the bag, which should prevent potential issues. Other than that, it's completely left open on the inside. And then on the back, we have a pass-through slot for your luggage. So you drop your handle of your, you drop this little pass-through over the handle of your luggage, and you are quickly able to go through the airport without much hassle. The other thing I wanted to show you is just how awesome, I love this idea on the strap, and we're gonna experiment with the strap a little bit further. But the thing I like here is the shape. So I've got this sort of curved shape for the shoulder strap, and my idea was to not have something rubbing against your neck. So it's got like a little bit of a cutout so it won't rub up against your neck, and it still gives enough surface area to be comfortable. That's the idea around the strap here. But it also has detachable clips. So these are called trigger snaps, I believe, that just clip onto the D-rings of the bag. So you can remove it and just carry it by the handles if you like. But there it is without the straps. And then we have the D-rings offset to give it a little bit more balance. So I've got one D-ring here, and the other is on the other side of the bag. So when you carry this, it should have a nice balance to it. So put a lot of thought and effort into this bag. Trevor in the workshop here has been working hard on these designs, and I think he's come up with something exceptional. I'm really happy with this bag, and I have something a little bit different to show you as well. This is like what did Apple used to do? Like, oh, just one more thing. So this is another, I'm gonna call it a bag, but this is really cool too. So this is, I'm gonna call it a travel case. And this is made brown cypress leather. And it's really nice. I wish the video here was doing it justice. The color is really special on this one. It has really nice depth. I'm noticing on the screen, it kind of looks like English tan, and it kind of does in person. That's because all the bags are made inside out and then we turn them. So you get a little bit more of that undertone of the burst effect in all of these waxy leathers. So this is a travel case. Let's just go over the front first. So we have one large, long zipper section on the front, and these are all lined with wax canvas. So it's like a green wax canvas and leather on the inside of that. On the inside of the main compartment, also have that wax canvas. They're all bound in leather as well. So all the, where is it? Right here. This binding is black latigo over that green wax canvas. I don't know if we're gonna do wax canvas. I think it's awesome. It adds a little bit of weight and a significant cost, where I think normal canvas might get the performance that we need, or maybe even just lining it with leather might be what we do in the future, but we've been experimenting. And then we have two different pocket sizes on the inside. I have some photos to show you how this works. But you can fit a phone on one side, you can fit wallets and pens on the other side, and then the rest of it's left open. And then here's the one I like the most. We've got this back pocket as well. That is, in fact, this whole area on the inside. I think this is going to be most useful for dropping a phone in very quickly, like this. And it should go all the way down in there. That's how we've designed it, at least, is around the size of a phone, and then zip it closed. So I'm excited about this. I'm gonna call it the travel kit. It's kind of like a DOP kit, right? You can do a lot of different things with it. No handles, no straps on this. So we're experimenting. I'd be really curious to hear what you guys think about this one, because I'm not sure whether or not it needs a strap, whether it needs handles. I was kind of thinking it'd be nice to just drop it in your luggage. Maybe a little cool travel kit. How do you hold it? You can hold it like this, kind of like a portfolio or something. As simple as that. All right, let's hop into some of the photos. We've got hundreds of photos to look at. We'll start off with this guy. So that is the, great. How do I get back to it? Oh my God. There we go. I was trying to make it bigger for you. Anyways, travel kit. And then we've got it loaded up with a book in there, some so turned over. So it's a really, I think it's just like a super clean look. Thanks, Jeff D. Good feedback, appreciate it. Oh no, I'm lagging, oh no. Oh no, I'm lagging, oh no. Well, I've got this recording, maybe I'll load this up later. Drop a bag in there, drop a phone in the back. I think it would be cool to do a detachable strap, because I like the idea of being able to throw it in your luggage, and then when you get to your destination, bag and carry it around with just the essentials for walking around. You don't suitcase. There you go. You hold it like that, or like this. You can hold it any way you want. And then here's the brief. And that's a bit of like the dark range of how the color will look. It's a little bit lighter in person. Oh, the stitch tag. Thanks, PH4RX. And then here's how it goes over the luggage. Strap. There's your tag. A little made in USA for you. And there's the canvas interior, Riri zipper. I love that black finish on the Riri zipper. More bag shots. Took a lot of bag shots. I wanted to show you what it looked like in an appropriate way. And then here's the little travel guy with the wax canvas on the inside. 3 frames a minute. Yeah. I will post a recording after. Sorry, guys. Bummer. Oh. Sheesh. All right. Yep, so we're back on the travel bag. We're having internet connection issues today for the live stream. This is a travel guy. I like it. People are saying in the chat, maybe we need a handle or strap on it. I think it's pretty cool. So front pocket, back pocket, pocket in the center. All right. Let's look at some wallets, I believe, are next. So we've got 3 different groups of photos here. And again, all of these are going up on the website at 5 p.m. Central Time, August 28th. Let's get into the 1940s calfskin. Check this out. So if you're not familiar with this is leather that was tanned in the 1940s by Horween Leather Company, and they kept it around in the tannery because they wanted to reproduce it, and they never were able to achieve it. So it's kind of sad, but this is like literally the end of it. I think I should be careful with my words. To my knowledge, I don't think we have much more than a couple pieces of this leather, so this is the last of it. It's a beautiful blonde color. It's called timber tanned calf, and it's tends to have some of this epic figuring in the grain that you can see on the photo here to some extent. And that's a Frank the Enforcer on it. And then we have a Bugs Moran here. I think we have a vertical Bugs and a standard Bugs. Oh, sorry about the stream, guys. So here's some of that epic figuring that I talk about. I love that on the calfskin. You tend to see it on the shoulders of the calfskins. The natural wax and burnished edge on it. It's also quite thin, these calfskin. So if you're looking for a thinner wallet, this could be a good choice. So there's the Bugs Moran. And here's, I believe, the vertical Bugs Moran. Also in the blonde calf. Oh, I'm glad that you like it. With we should put some straps on it. Love the idea. What do you think about, for the travel bag, this little guy, putting detachable straps on it as opposed to fixed straps? Because I really like the idea of being able to just throw that thing in a suitcase and not having to worry about the straps being attached to it. Here's a Lucky card holder, also in the 1940s calf. Love this leather. People, if you're not familiar with calfskin also, just in general, not specifically this calfskin, but all calfskin has a bit of a finer grain character to it. So the hair holes are very, very small in the calfskin, so super smooth, almost, it's not like shell, but it's as close as you get to shell in terms of the fineness of the grain. Here's a Johnny the Fox, also in that blonde calf. Also beautiful. Really like that interior with the figuring. And here's something we call cobblestone shell cordovan. This is a different texture and then marbled over it. So when they marble it, you get a little bit of a range of color, and you can see on here a little bit of a darker green on the top, fades into a lighter green, and then sort of this orangey color towards the bottom. I noticed that this one was really hard to capture the color in the photos, but it's very striking, especially in person. It's a little bit washed out in this specific photo, but kind of looks more like this. And then the inside, we have marbled Western black, and I know it doesn't look black, but the black dyes that Horween uses are a green black. So when they scrape away the finish to give the marbling effect, it leaves that little bit of a gradient of color from black to green to an orange, and all the colors in between. Here's my favorite shell color. This is Amaretto Shell Cordovan on the Johnny the Fox. It's a very vibrant orangey tan shade. And then the inside of this one, we have Natural Shell Cordovan there. Detachable straps would literally break some records. Here's another fan favorite leather. This is the Stonewash Blue Cypress leather. Relatively new to the world. We started making some stuff out of it this year, and it seems like people really like it. On this one, I love the interior that we've done. So we've got the stonewashed on the outside, and then the inside we've combined it with some wax flesh, and this is blue, excuse me, that's Dublin. Let's trust but verify. I thought this was wax flesh. Here it is. So this is actually Dublin on the inside. This is cobalt blue Dublin, and we have a silver foil stamp for the logo on there. This wallet is amazing. So aspen that we looked at the beginning of the video here, this is the same black horsehide aspen. Check out the grain character there. And then we've sandwiched the inside of the wallet with some KC red Latigo. And I love this combination. It's really cool. I'm gonna say it. This is my stunner of the day. I love that black aspen with the red on the inside. Maybe it's because I like the Chicago Bulls, but it's really cool. And here's one epic texture on the brown cypress for Johnny the Fox. You can see the figuring on the grain on the exterior of the wallet. It's a little smoother on the inside. And here's another epic figuring, but I think this is like a stone cypress. I'm not actually, to be honest, I'm not certain what this is. It feels like a Dublin leather to me, but it could be cypress. It's probably Dublin. And it's got this interesting gray tone to it. Kind of like a stone gray, like a little bit of brown. And then of course the epic figuring is amazing. Here's one in a marbled Western. So look at this picture. You can see there's a little bit of texture, but not as much as a normal Western texture. That's because it's called hammering a print. So a hammered print is when they level off the peaks of a texture by sanding it usually. In this case, it's not sanded. It's just scraped away. So it's a little smoother than a normal texture, but what you get is this range of color from removing the color after printing the texture. Is a little confusing. The result's awesome, and then we've got that on top of some garnet shell cordovan. So I believe that's a Western marbled color 8 on garnet, and more on the inside. And this one is maybe my number 2 stunner. I was surprised at how great this turned out. This is a lizard texture on natural shell cordovan for our Capone money clip, and a reverse interior. Does that stone, Ben D says, does the stonewash blue cypress have a suede-ish texture? No, I wouldn't. It looks a little suede-y. I can see why you would say that, but it is regular grain. There's no suede. It looks sueded. I think that's because of the wax that has been applied on the surface, but this is definitely not suede. You might even be able to see in the light here as I tilt it around, if I find some luster. It's not suede. It's grainy, but kind of I can see why you'd say that. I think partially the color and partially the wax that are making it appear the way it appears. Not super relevant to the video, but have you guys ever considered making MagSafe wallets? We have, and oops, and we haven't done it. My apologies. We've considered it, but have not done it. All right, here's another awesome piece. This is violet shell cordovan on green shell cordovan for the Fat Herbie. That might even be Kia green. And then we've got the contrasting magenta color stitching for the inside and matching for most of the outside. Beautiful piece with matching hand stained edges. Fat Herbie's my choice. And then inside that one we have the hidden card slots. I'm carrying a brown cypress Fat Herbie right now and I love it. We haven't gone to cigarette cases. I don't think that's gonna happen. Never say never though. Here's another aspen piece. It's a Fat Herbie in acorn aspen. And this is another color that I struggle to get the photography to represent what it really looks like, but it kind of looks like this. It's a really nice, brilliant luster, the same type of luster as on the briefcase we looked at. It's like a wet look. And then the color on this particular acorn is very vibrant. It's more vibrant than the English tan. And then it's got really nice grain character as well. Here's one with cigar shell cordovan on Epic Splatter Reverse. I can see I'm dropping frames like crazy. I'm sorry guys. I'll have to post this video after. Live stream people, I'm so sorry. This is a total stunner, maybe number 3. Cigar on the outside with Epic Splatter Reverse. And this is what we call a double reverse. So you've got shell and reverse shell on the outside and shell and reverse shell on the inside. Check this out on the inside right. I love that. Really cool. Here's one in invert for me to capture the color here, but there's this sort of splattered effect on the shell. You might be able to see some of the dark spots, light spots, and a bit of a range of color in between. That's sitting on top of some reverse cordovan. Yeah, you can. It's difficult to take pictures of shiny things and show the color. So it's shiny cordovan with that really cool splatter. Call it inverted gel. Here's another piece, Fat Herbie in the blue Dublin. I'm pretty sure this is cobalt blue. And it's got a contrasting cream color stitch. This one has a contrasting red stitch, I think. Here it is. It's an orange. This is a contrasting orange color stitch. Maybe it's the Chicago Bears colors. Go Bears. And here's one in wax flesh. I really like the wax flesh Chrome Excel. It's finished on the reverse side of the leather after they suede it, and then they fill in all those bits of fibers of the suede with a resin and then iron it smooth. So as you rough this up, it gets really cool looking. And then in the inside center, this is actually the full grain chrome excel. Is cypress horsehide or steer? It can be both. I think at this moment we only have steer hide cypress. Good question. A dime bag for Ben D. It's a good one. All right, here's a wall that's gonna upset somebody in the chat. This is a tall Tony the Ant that has been hand stitched. You can see it's got a skip stitch on the outside where the bill slot opens up a little bit longer to give you a bit easier access if you want that. And this one has a candy cane color hand stitching with brown and cream thread. I love the blonde bison. This is another one. Sometimes I struggle to get the color just right, but this is what it looks like. It's a yellowy brown. And then the inside of this one, we've got some Western Natural Latigo on the Mirage horse front. This is a 50-50 version. So we've got traditional, excuse me, this is not the 50-50 version. There's another one that is. This is traditional card slots. So we've got the Mirage on Western Natural and then the opposite of that on the other side. And that's the last one for this group. We've got more photos. Don't worry, there's more stuff. Southeast boys, yeah, somebody will enjoy it. Thanks, man. With some order and had to remake it. He was kind enough to be okay with me putting this one up. All right, more stuff. Here we go. This is the one I got confused with earlier. So this is a Frank the Enforcer with that stonewash blue cypress for the middle card slot, but we've got waxed flesh chrome excel in the blue color for the top. I think that's a pretty good look. And this is a 5-slot version, so you got the 2 slots in the front, 2 on the back here, and then 1 larger slot in the center, like that. Here's one in black and red. Digging the black and red right now. And this one has no logo stamped on it, which I think is really clean. I like this one a lot. Another 5 in black Dublin and color 8 calf. This is not the epic texture calf, but you can see the difference in the grain character on the bottom. Honestly, that kind of looks like horse to me now that I look at it. I thought this was calf. I would not want to give misinformation. That looks like, so here's a little bit of leather nerdery. When you look at enough leather, you can tell what animal it's from. This looks like horse grain to me. I'm 99% sure that's horse. And then this is the character of steer hide. I wish I could zoom in more on it. You'll take my word for it. But it's color 8, like a burnt cherry on the bottom and then black on the top. And there's another 5-slot. Here's another one, same concept, but there's 2 of those burgundy slots on the bottom and 1 black on the top. Leather jacket. We did a leather jacket a long time ago, and it's not something we're going to do again, at least in the near future. Here's a lucky card holder in that same red and black color combo. I love this one. We made this color Latigo for a particular sports team for the big game in 2025 in the winter. So it matches their colors on the black. We just call it KC Red. This one is really cool. So this is an Epic Splatter cigar, again, on cigar for the top section. You see all that Epic Splatter? Really, really cool. If people have reverse cordovan, sometimes it can be more interesting patina than the normal cordovan. We see that a lot from customers, loving the way that the reverse side of the shells develop. It gets really glossy and shiny just with normal use. And it gets a bit darker, a little bit more golden and brown in color. The lucky card holder has this open slot on one side to give you easy access to the center, and then two slots in the front and 2 on the back. It's really cool. Here's another lucky card holder in that color 8. I think it's horse. Yeah, you can really see the grain character there. If you look in the highlighted areas, probably see a little bit better what that grain looks like, as opposed to the grain down here. So steer hide a little bit finer grain. This horse hide is a little bit more coarse, and it's a specific pattern. No baseballs this drop. Same concept here. I think this one only has one of the color 8 and then 2 black. Here's a quick access vertical bugs. So we've got the quick slot on the outside. And there, that's what it looks like. And then the vertical slots on the inside in the English Tan Dublin. Okay, maybe fourth stunner of the day is this guy. Another black aspen color combo. Check that out. So this is black aspen horse on the exterior. Great grain character with that epic texture, but this is purposefully shrunken by the tannery. And then the inside, we have the acorn aspen. This photo here represents the color very nicely. That's what the acorn color looks like, and the luster. You can see it's quite a bit shiny. Sometimes I struggle with like this photo. It doesn't really look like that. It looks more like this. For some reason I have a hard time capturing the really shiny stuff. All right, and then we've got a traveler passport holder. This is kind of like our Fat Herbie. It's a little taller, and it has a card slot on the inside that holds your passport here. I skipped a few photos. So this is, I believe this is either color 4 or garnet shell. It's probably garnet. A little bit more red than brown is the garnet. And we have that on top of the reverse. Natural wax and burnished edges. Same thing on the outside there. And then reverse in the interior with this unique splattering. We did not hire Jackson Pollock for this, but you could say it's sort of his vibe. And that's how the passport slides in. I think we have another passport holder here. This is marbled blue shell, I think. Sometimes the marbled shells look similar to marbled blue, marbled green, marbled black can kind of be samey. This one looks like marbled blue to me because I see a little bit more blue tones in the darker sections. And that has a contrasting teal color stitch. And then a reverse interior. And this one has 2 passport slots. So you could put your kids in there and yours, or maybe yours and your husband or wife's. Multiple passports. That's a beautiful piece. Here's another one in the black aspen leather. To give you a good sense of the luster here. Talking about tiny holes. Are they getting scuffed apart? This one is black aspen inside and out. And there's a passport slot on the right. That's a pretty awesome looking wallet. Here's one in violet and green. Again, this is the passport version. We saw Herbie earlier. And this one has the 2 card slots in the green color. So it's green underneath violet. And then green underneath violet for the outside too. Tiny hair holes and hair follicles. Yeah, you see that in cordovan. Somebody told me that should never happen. I feel like I see it on every piece of cordovan. I think that's just the way that leather is. They're more obvious at certain angles, and they sort of... Here's a Tony the Ant, I think. Yes, Tony the Ant in the same color combo with the green and violet shell. Digging that combo. Here's another Tony the Ant in garnet shell, I think. Pretty sure it's garnet. And then a reverse for one of the card slots, which I actually really prefer. I don't really promote our custom shop, but we can do custom orders. And I usually recommend at least 1 slot of the interior to be reverse. And that's because when your wallet's closed and you rub together sitting on it or in your pocket, that shell will scratch itself. The reverse kind of gets scuffed up too, but I find the reverse to be more easily polished in. So a lot of people's experience are similar to mine, where they prefer at least 1 interior slot to be reverse. Here's another stunner, gray cypress on the Tony the Ant. I really like this color. Here's another good color combo. This is natural Essex, actually. We haven't done natural Essex in a long time, on top of blue. And this one has like a little bit of a white core to it, that blue latigo. So it's natural Essex on blue with a contrasting stitch. And this is raw natural cordovan. This is an unpolished version of the cordovan. So as you wear it, it will give you more room to develop patina, because once the tannery starts to polish it, you fill in the fibers of the shell and they become less open. So you won't be able to impart your own patina as easily. When it starts off raw, it also does feel a little bit suede-y, like a micro suede. So people that want the most dramatic patina, I recommend this. I'm excited about this. Been really pumped recently on rough out leathers. So this is a rough out Chrome Excel. It's like the wax flesh. I think it is, but it might be. So it's like a little bit more open. And then this is tumbled natural Chrome Excel. So that would make sense. They're both tumbled Chrome Excel, but this is the rough outside. So it's like a tumbled wax flesh. Really digging the idea of doing some suede stuff, doing some rough out stuff. Maybe do some oiled or waxed suedes for bags would be amazing. But I really like it on this wallet here. That's our quick access Bugs Marin quick bugs. Here's another quick bugs in the tumbled natural Chrome Excel. These are one of ones, so the photos on the site tomorrow at 5 p.m. will be exactly the one you get. Here's a Bugs Marin, I think normal bugs in blue shell cordovan. This is an interesting, all the cordovan leather is difficult for color because as you tilt the leather, the color will change. So this is about the light range of the color that you'll see, and this is about the dark range. So even if you took the same piece of leather and just spun it around on the table, you'd notice it would change color. And that's because of the directionality of the fibers in the shell. So it's sort of like a navy that ranges to a little bit more blue like this. Here's one in ultraviolet with this oval shape stamp in the center. It says genuine shell cordovan. It does called the measuring machine stamp, and it usually has the measurement, but the header got cut off for the card holder here. Here's one in garnet shell again, Bugs Marin, and one reverse card slot. I kind of wish it was one of the top card slots, to be honest. Here is some shrunken horse. This is Yellowstone horsehide. The horse shrink, look at that. I should have shown this photo when we first released this. The texture on this shrunken horse is insane. Look, it's like just so, it's so awesome. And the horse shrinks differently than the bison. And this is a blue color on the Bugs Marin. Super cool. Here's a Lucky wallet, and this must have been cut a year ago because this, I believe, is Kia Green Shell Cordovan, and this has our 13th anniversary stamp, which I purposely got rid of on December 31st last year. We were not stamping any more of it, so this might be, I'm not sure what else we have sitting around the shop here, but this might be one of the oldest, or one of the last 13th anniversary stamps. We're on year 14 now. What's new with Outrun the Sunlight? We're playing an awesome show next month, Chris Lee, in Chicago with a band called Vola. I love this band, Vola. It's going to be a little bit of a bigger show. And we're working on a new album. All right, Kia Green Shell. And here's another Lucky wallet in wax flesh, blue Chrome Excel. A little bit of a darker blue. Here's another inverted color 8 piece. This is a Lucky card holder again. I should explain that this section on the one side is left open, so you can drop your cash very easily in there. It's got the 2 slots on the front and then 2 card slots on the back as well. And no stamp on the front of this one, but there's a stamp on the back. This one, Stingray, if you look at the texture here. If you've seen a Stingray leather before, it's almost like a pebbling of a football for that animal. It's really interesting. One-shot card case, the most minimal thing we have. Here is shrunken bison. So this is the Yellowstone bison. You can definitely see the difference in the texture. The bison is much less, I don't know, insane than this texture. Look at that. It's just really wild on the horse. And it's cool on the bison, but really cool. This is the tan shrunken bison, a little bit more intense. But you can see the peaks of the texture are a little bit rounder and wider on the bison. I know, John, my stream is terrible right now. I'm recording it. We'll post the brown. And then this is a Skip finish shell cordovan piece on a one-shot card case. And Skip was hand finishing some different effects, which is why we call it the Skip finish. So it's sort of like a swirly, it almost looks like a galaxy or something, like a starry night, but it's more of a brownish red tone. And we've got that same Skip finish for the lighter sheath here. And I think that's the last one. Oh, we got a bison lighter sheath as well. Might be ending it with the lighters. Oh, another wax flesh lighter. And I have to tell you, oh, there's a key fob in the bison as well. Ah, this is another, I think this is the last one. This was a shell that we got that was off spec from the tannery, and it's like we're calling it watermelon, and it really looks like watermelon. It's sort of like magenta, sort of like garnet, but it's definitely like, I say watermelon, you see it in person, you go like, yep, that looks like watermelon. So this was just an off spec color that the tannery had, and they didn't know what to do with it. So that's the last one there. And I should also tell you that there's other things that will be going up that are going to be a surprise, because I haven't taken photos of them yet, but there will be some more stuff up. So tomorrow, everything we just looked at, including the brand new bag, briefcase in the color 8 horse. This is a 101 with the horse mane in the center. We got the canvas liner, pass-through strap, black Riri zippers, comes with the strap. I'm really excited about that. We're gonna have to figure out how to make them more efficiently, because they are very expensive to make. So I would like to make those not $1 million, but the goal of all this is just to see your feedback for all the new bag designs. Be brutally honest about it. Tell me exactly what you think. We just want to make a product that you guys want and would use and get a lot of value out of for a lifetime. So that's our whole goal here. I've got 5 minutes to take questions, but maybe I shouldn't even do it because we're just dropping frames here. It looks like my internet is not working today. Oh man, I'm gonna hang out for a minute and then post this whole thing up afterwards. Everybody that's been chatting me up in the chat today, thank you guys very much. Hopefully you guys are doing something fun for Labor Day coming up. I know I'm gonna take a day off for a change. Right on. Yeah, I'll be posting a video in a little bit. Thank you guys for hanging out in the chat. Give me maybe like a half hour here. No horse, but Ben. I mean, okay, Ben D, if you're hearing this right now, we're not lagging out. Don't hold me to this, but I am expecting to do a purely horse butt event very soon. And by soon, I mean in a week, I hope. Don't hold me to that, but I have a specific horse butt event that I think you're gonna really like. It's not what you think it's gonna be. It's gonna be better than you think. All right, guys. Thanks for bearing with me through this laggy stream. And I'll try to get that fixed. Maybe get a range booster. Anyways,